Hey, I'm NichBoy and welcome to Pocket for Wednesday, the 2nd of March. Today on the show, laser cats, Activision, and a goose. All right, here's what's been making headlines. No Man's Sky caused a bit of a stir on social media this morning, and the damn game's not even out. A blog post on the official PlayStation Store had listed the exploration game under the latest pre-order batch and dated the release for the 3rd of March. Needless to say, the internet went wild, only to be disappointed half an hour later when the blog post was updated and No Man's Sky was removed. Sad space pandas. There's still no official word on the release date of No Man's Sky, but if it does eventuate that the game is out this week, you better believe I'm playing it. Harmonix is using Fig to crowdfund a PC version of Rock Band 4, and this really pisses me off. Harmonix are asking for your millions of dollars. This is what we feared. This is end times. It's over. Shut it down. We're done. Oh God, even the remotes don't work anymore.
Get back in there. And turn the TV on now.
The studio launched a campaign asking for $1.5 million to bring the game to PC.
Start counting, damn it.
5, 6.
For 4! Look at me!
1, 2, 3.
The port will support the return of the Rock Band network, which allows users to upload their own music, that is songs they have written and recorded, and sell them on the Rock Band storefront. The campaign will run for the next 35 days. I hope it fails.
Mommy!
And speaking of failures, Zynga are still playing musical chairs in the exec room. For the second time, Mark Pincus has abandoned the role of CEO to be replaced by former EA marketing VP Frank Gabot. Get it together, Pincus! In update news, Metal Gear Online is receiving a new DLC pack to arrive on the 15th of March. The update, called Cloaked in Silence, will introduce 3 new maps, and the scantily clad Quiet will be a playable character. Also receiving an update is Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which has new playable missions available now. The Last Maharaja DLC sees the twins teaming up with Julep Singh on some personal vendetta. And god-bashing Jotun is coming to consoles later this year. Along with the release on PS4, Wii U, and Xbox One, the game will receive a new game mode which will increase the difficulty of the already painfully difficult game. I'm joined now by Goose to discuss our final news story. Activision are the latest publisher to announce they will not be appearing on the E3 show floor. They will not have a booth, and although Infinity Ward's Call of Duty is coming this year, people will have to go to the PlayStation booth to see it. Goose, you're going to E3 this year.
I am, fingers crossed.
You may be the only one.
Could, actually. It could just be an empty showroom floor now. It's a little concerning, isn't it? After having EA announce that they're going to take their stuff and move it across the road into another shed, and now Activision as well are just going to sort of dissolve, I assume, into the Sony booth and maybe...
Yeah, so I guess, like, what do they have to show? They have Call of Duty, obviously, and so PlayStation's going to be showing that.
Yep.
They'll probably show that at their press conference as
Maybe
well.
some Destiny?
Well, that's the thing with Destiny, right? Like, they've got an update coming for Destiny to tide us over until Destiny 2, except that update, I mean, I don't know what that update could possibly be that is revolutionary enough.
And I doubt it's going to be bigger than the Taken King, because that was a pretty chunky...
Well, it's almost like they don't want to talk about Destiny, so they don't even want to be in a situation where someone can come up and go, so what's happening with Destiny this year?
We're not here,
Yeah,
actually.
exactly.
I mean, it could just be that, it could be that. They might have a little less to show this year, realize they don't have as much to fill out a whole booth, and maybe it's a sensible idea. They're just keeping their cards close to their chest, and yeah.
E3's falling apart.
No, it's going to be great.
It's coming to an end.
It's going to be
probably
really good.
all going to get cancelled before you go.
Just as I arrive.
Yeah, you'll land, and Ubisoft will finally be like, nah, Just Dance is coming out, we're out. That's it. That's all we have to say.
It's just going to be a giant Just Dance expo.
That sounds fun.
Nothing but Rihanna and Rabbids. Actually, that does sound fun.
Lucky you. All right, moving on now. It's thing of the day.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God!
Oh no, Baby Sam blew up!
My head, thanks for
Fine. Stuntman Eric Jacobus has performed the entire move list of Tekken fighter Jin Kazama in real life. Jacobus easily keeps pace with the Mishima-style karate, but takes some artistic license with a custom super move.
soldier.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my god!
Oh no, Baby Sam blew up!
My head, but thanks for
Fine. Okay, so it's Wednesday, which means it is Goose is Wrong Day. Would you mind just wrapping up what you were wrong about on last night's episode of Good Game?
I would love to. So last night I looked at VR, specifically the price of VR, as we've just had a lot of the headsets, the prices have been announced.
Yep.
So specifically the Oculus has come in at over $1,000 Australian, which I believe you predicted at one point.
Hero.
Well done. And now the HTC Vive has come in at more than that as well.
Yes.
So people are a little shocked that this new tech is going to be so costly.
And what was your opinion on this?
However, my opinion was that I'm very okay with this because this new tech needs to be pricey because it is so new, it is going to be so intensive, and it needs to get it right. My worry is that if this tech is cheap, if they're cutting corners, then we're going to scare ourselves away from VR before we even get there.
Well, not all of us were pampered little rich boys like you, which is weird because, you know, same parents. One of those not pampered little rich boys is Stephen William Lount, even though I would argue 3 names means you're a millionaire, who says, I think the price is too high because someone or people who want to get it don't have that sort of money. And to me, it's the developers saying, ha 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 ha, you're poor, we develop for the rich. What is your opinion here?
My opinion is that's an interesting way to put it. I think it's kind of the wrong idea there because these manufacturers are coming out with these headsets and there are some serious hardware going on there.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're ripping off, you know, customers. I don't even think they'll probably be making a profit off these to begin with. They're just trying to establish a foothold in the market and say, you know, this is probably the best we can do, but we're trying to get these products out there so people can experience them, so the demand can go up, and that we can eventually bring that price down as manufacturing gets more spread out.
I mean, you look at something like mobile phones. When a new, you know, top-end iPhone or Android phone or whatever comes out, those things are like over $1,000.
But they're not worth that, are they?
They're not worth that at all. Like, they're making millions of those a year. Right now, they're not making millions of VR headsets, so the price will be higher to actually manufacture them.
Exactly, and you're right. I think it's fair for someone like Stephen to be a little skeptical.
Stephen William
Lount, to be a little skeptical because you're right. Every time a new iPhone comes out or a piece of tech like that, there is that markup just because they know the demand is there.
Yeah.
Whereas I think for something like VR headsets, there is demand, but not as much. They're being cautious. They're stepping up to the starting line and they're trying to enter the market without causing too much turbulence. Once that demand does go up, we could see them raising the price even more.
Yeah.
It could go either way. But at this stage, I don't think we can accuse them of purely developing for the rich. It's for the people who are interested in this, enthusiasts and early adopters.
Well, you defended yourself pretty well there. Take that, Stephen. Next up is Sam Pratter. Stephen William, of course. Next up is Sam Pratter, who says, I'm not sure I agree. When the 3D TV craze happened a few years ago, the biggest obstacle was the huge difference in price between 2D and 3D TVs. I would argue that 3D is shit, being the biggest obstacle. Nowadays, 3D is a bit of a meh area because the huge price tag forced us back to reality. I want VR to become a thing, but I'm worried it doesn't become affordable soon. It will just become another temporary craze, but that's just my opinion. Do you see a similarity between 3D TVs and VR?
I would say there's a big difference between those two pieces of tech, mainly because I've experienced both of them. I've tried 3D TV in a shop, I think, and the amount of, peripherals you put on, and once you sit down and look at it, the result isn't as astounding as they promise. It was just a little step up.
It was just like window dressing, and also you didn't really develop for 3D movies. It was just sometimes when 3D sort of became as big as it got in the Marvel movies, occasionally someone would throw something at the screen, and it's like that was developing for the 3D TV. Whereas for VR, you go, these are entire experiences devoted around the fact that you're in that world.
And TV panels are very expensive every time they can add a new feature to them. So they become smart TVs, they become 3D TVs, they become curved TVs, and so they're trying really hard to find something they can add to it. And I think as consumers, we can see that is just a little naff feature on the side of it. Whereas you put on a VR headset and you go, oh, this is kind of like something I've done before. It's like, no, this is brand new, and this is something that I'm willing to maybe fork out a little more money for.
Take that, Sam Prater.
I think we're keeping this friendly though. We're not-
Yeah, the next person I need you to slap in the face is Dean Woody, who says the problem is not the price, but different VRs for different consoles, PCs, or mobiles. Monopolies are not good for price in the long run, but with new tech they are essential as no profit equals no expenditure. Or it can go like VHS and beta, where the best gets dumped while the best publicized ends up being the future.
Dean, I totally agree.
So do I. You win, Dean.
Well done.
You're now Goose.
Well, yeah.
In Dean's opinion, 8:30 p.m. ABC2.
I think he's spot on there because that is another problem that I think we're going to face a little further down the line. Once these headsets make it out there and they do have to start battling each other, it is going to be a question of cross-compatibility and what works with what and how different each one can be to set itself apart.
My biggest fear with VR before I used it was that it would just look kind of naff and I wouldn't enjoy it. I've since used it and I've gone, no, this is really cool. My new biggest fear is backing the wrong VR headset.
Yeah.
Because you've got your Oculus at 800, you've got your Vive at 900, and this is US dollars, or like they're all sort of basically they're all a grand. Like all of this stuff is a grand. And then the yet to be priced PlayStation one, I go, oh, I love PlayStation games. I would love for Sony to develop some stuff there. So but I also love the Vive. So I buy the Vive because I want to take advantage of my insanely powerful PC, and the Vive to me seems like the best piece of hardware. But then that means I can't play any of the PlayStation VR games on that system. So if I then want to play those, I need to spend another potentially $1,000 to play those games because they're not cross-compatible, and that's really worrying.
And if you get burnt by that, I don't think you'd probably step back into the VR market.
I'm not dishing out another $1,000.
No, exactly. And it is a worry because they all do have pros and cons. I think it was Dean Hall, the creator of DayZ, has said that he's had a hands-on with both the Oculus and the HTC as a developer, and said that they do actually have some stark differences.
From like their core outwards, like
Yeah.
the thing that they're focusing on is that like the Vive is focusing more on positioning in the
And
3D
tracking
world.
and all that stuff, yeah. So it might be something that we see in the future is that the best features from each of these headsets eventually morph into the ideal VR headset.
Like Voltron.
Yeah, like Voltron. But I'm not sure if that's going to happen because obviously...
Well, we've had enough trouble with a one console future.
Yeah, exactly.
That still hasn't happened. I don't feel like that's going to... And also there's just too much money on the line for these companies
Yeah.
to go, yeah, no, let's all buddy up. I think alternatively, the way to make sure that people don't necessarily back the wrong horse is to just price yourself so aggressively that you are the only one that people buy.
Yeah.
And that may mean taking a quite substantial loss on your hardware for a couple of years. I mean, consoles have done this for ages.
Yeah.
They've taken a loss. And these companies, I mean, I do not know nearly enough about how these companies are run and their current liquidity and all that sort of thing, but you've got HTC, Facebook backing Oculus, and
That's
you've got
the thing.
PlayStation.
Who are Sony, and then you've got, you know, who is the biggest hitter out of all
Who
of
has
that?
the deepest pockets to go, okay, we're going to sell our hardware for $300 while the other people are selling it for $1,000. We're going to lose $700 per console, and in the first year we're going to lose $2 billion. But we will have had such an adoption rate that we are now kings of the playground.
And my fear is that, as I mentioned in the IMO, is that it's going to be the person with the deepest pockets that does get out there in the market the most versus the one who knows what they're doing.
The best
tech.
yeah.
Because the best tech is going to, you know, actually sell units.
The beta versus the VHS.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm super concerned about that as well, Dean. You definitely win all of our opinions. I feel like we share Dean's opinion.
We do. Well done, Dean.
All right, well, thank you very much, everyone, for your opinions. I would say overall that your opinion was a pretty solid one.
I think I did all right.
I would give you a solid 5 out of 10.
That's not solid at all.
That's half. That's half.
Okay.
In my opinion, IMO, that's pretty solid. All right, that's it for today's episode. My Pocketeers, please let us know in the comments what you would like for a talk through tomorrow. We've had enough opinions about VR. And while you're on the internet, make sure you check out Good Game on Facebook, YouTube, and iView. Want to meet fellow Pocketeers? Then join the Pocketeers Facebook group and Steam group. You can follow Good Game on Twitter at GoodGameTV, follow Pocket at NichBoy, at Pierreth, at GG_EditMonkey. He's at Goosemangus, and there are links to everything I just said in the description below. Today's Thing of the Day graphic was made by Dan at War. Thank you very much, Dan. If you have made a thing, please send it in. Until tomorrow, NichBoy,
Goose out.
you defended yourself valiantly.
valiantly. Did alright.
I was proud.
I'm waiting for the week that I just get smashed.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Once you actually put your balls on the line
I'm
and say
getting
something
there.
controversial.
I'm slowly getting there. I don't want to do that anymore.
Get in the car, soldier.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my god!
Oh no, baby Sam blew up.
My head, but thanks for
Mine.
Scene.
Nailed it.